What's happening, fellas? Is the Honda CR500 the greatest motorcycle of all time, the greatest motocross bike of all time? Unequivocally, hell yeah. Absolutely. 9 times in a row, the CR500 won the FIM World Motocross Championship. 2 of those 9 times they held first, second, and third on the podium. Without a doubt, the greatest 2-cycle engine ever made, and the best motocross engine ever made. The power to weight ratio, the ease of maintenance, the life cycle of this engine. I have guys I know that have 30 years on a CR500 motor, and they're still running the same motor. It's completely rebuildable. It's completely upgradable. There's a huge aftermarket of all kinds of, you have a choice of 5 different manufacturers on pipes, 3 on carbs, multiple tier 1 speed shops. This one right here, this is the same exact engine that Motocross Action, and I'll put a copy of the video in there, Millar Race Engineering out of Canada built this motor, and it's the same exact spec. It's got everything from the tip of the air filter to the tip of the exhaust, was designed by Adam Millar. It has the twerp porting package, the decompression lever. I'll get into that in a second, but more about this bike. This bike is a service Honda. There are copiers, there are imitators, but there's only one service Honda. There's only one godfather of the CR500, none other than AJ Wagoner. We did it, check the video we did with him a couple weeks ago. 25 years, since 1997, AJ's been building these aluminum frame conversions. There's nobody on the planet who knows more about the CR500 conversions than him. 6,000 of these have been made by him, and I've owned and I probably own more CR500s than anybody you'll ever meet. We've got a whole museum full of CR500s, and we ride and race them to this day, both the old ones and the new ones, the old steel frames. AJ has really got this down to a science. This particular bike here is highly modified from the standard built500.com that you can get from AJ today. This one has a complete race motor. It's got the factory connection caliber suspension. I guess I'll start at the front of the bike, right here at the front tire, and work my way back. It has a Hoosier tire, which is lighter, and it's twice the cost of a Dunlop tire, but with a bike like this, we don't worry about the cost. We just put the best of everything on it. It also has a 280 millimeter braking oversized rotor with the billet galfer bracket for the caliper. It has a complete wheel set, red anodized rims, red anodized hubs with black rims. Forks were sent to factory connection. We have the receipt. It was $1,400. They revalved and resprung them. It's a 0.51 spring rate. It's heading up from the forks. You'll see it has a brand new set of applied triple clamps on here, the red anodized one, and then it has a Renthal fat bar, nice Pro Grip 801 grips. The steering dampener is a factory stock item on the CR that year. Helps it, even though it has a steep steering angle, it helps it with the head shake. You can see the aluminum spars on the frame have been polished. The front fender has a 2017 and up newer style front fender and front number plate. The graphics package that is on the bike was designed by Christy Steiger. If you look closely, you'll see there's number 16. This is the 16th full custom graphics package she's done. This is the only one like it. There is no other. All the graphics were hand drawn on the computer, and it's fully custom. You won't find another set like it. All new plastics on it. The moto tape on the side of the frame is brand new. You can see it has a nice Renthal chain and sprockets. Of course, heading in the back, you've got a brand new Hoosier tire, matching black rim and red anodized hub with the wave rotor and a brand new Hoosier tire. Everything's brand new on the back. You can see, zoom in on the shock, you can see the shock rubber is brand new. It doesn't look like it's ever even bottomed out. Suspension has been rebuilt, less than a couple hours ride time on it. Now we're going to go to the heart of the beast, because that's really where the magic, that's really what this is all about, is the 500 motor. If you want entry into the Big Bore Addicts Club, you want the fastest, most gnarly, most respected big bore engine ever made, it's got to be a CR500. This one started life as a 491cc. Adam Millar spec'd this entire engine. It has a twin air filter, has his jetting spec, and if you look at the intake right here, it has the Millar Race Engineering reed spacer and the V-Force 2 Moto Tassinari reed valve. The porting on this is something that Adam does not share. You're not allowed to publish photos of it. It's a proprietary porting with, I don't want to say too much about it, but if you call him by the bike, we'll tell you and explain to you, but it's something he's developed along with his engineers, and it just works. If you listen to the Motocross Action reviews, it's faster pretty much everywhere. Now, this isn't a 70 horsepower hill climb motor with a giant pipe on it, because they make engines that'll do 70, 100 horsepower for the kart racers out of these, but they're unrideable on a motocross track. This is the best way to set up a motocross engine. It has more power, more horsepower and torque from right off idle right to red line, which is about I think it's around 7,500 on this bike. I have the dyno chart, which I'll include in this. Stock was 51.8, 56.87 horse to the rear wheel. That's the rear wheel, not at the crank. 56.87, which is almost 4 horsepower more than the brand new 2021 YZ 450 we tested on the same dyno, and that's everywhere across the board, and probably 25%, 20 to 25% more torque than a 450
it's
horse.
Reliable power.
Reliable power, bulletproof, and rideable. So it has the FMF pipe on here, which they come stock from AJ with a Pro Circuit pipe. Everybody has their preference. I like the FMF series. Junior and I run the Gnarly or the Fatty. The Gnarly is a little bit beefier pipe. It's a little bit heavier, but it has a thicker wall and some more reinforcement from getting dings. Has a beautiful platinum finish on it, like a semi-chrome finish, and it flat out works everywhere. It has an FMF Power Core 2 silencer, but back to the motor. It's got the Millar Race Engineering porting. The head's been milled 2.5 millimeters. The squish band's been altered, and it has a compression release on the other side, so it starts as easy as a 125 with the compression release. So the porting is something that Adam's developed over the years. If you look at the exhaust port on this, you'll see it has an MSV billet exhaust port, which will keep it from, that actually on a dyno, they've been proven to flow over a horsepower more just with that one item. So everything adds together with a package that, although maybe it's not a 70 horsepower dyno hill climb monster, it revs fast, clean, smooth. I rode in the trailer right there. There's a brand new with an hour on it service built 500 from AJ. That's the stock motor, and when AJ builds these, his goal is to make them just like if Honda pulled one out of the box. That's a stock CR500 cylinder with a Pro Circuit pipe. Awesome motor, put down somewhere between 52 and 53 horse. This motor here with the porting, the reed package, the jetting, the more mid-range pipe, the milled head with higher compression, everything adds up to a broader spread of power, a little bit less vibration, and it just revs to the moon. It's an awesome package. Like I said, I watched the Motocross Action review of the same motor. You can get their opinion right there. So the entire engine build was $3,995 in parts plus 15 hours labor. And I have a 4-page parts list here of all of the upgrades and extras that I'm put on the bike. Oh, I almost forgot. That includes, the $4,000 includes a $1,200 Recluse torque drive clutch and a Pro X clutch basket, because when you start putting down more torque and horsepower from an already super powerful bike, that's what a lot of the stunt riders are using. A lot of pro motocrossers use that package. It's pretty much the best clutch that you can possibly get. It's definitely a step up from the Hinson. It's expensive, but it's the best. So again, the silencer's an FMF Power Core 2. The suspension, factory connection suspension, applied triple clamps, custom graphics, new plastics, new custom black tusk wheels, the new Hoosier tires, the Galfer 280 millimeter wave rotor and billet adapter, the wave rotor on the rear, the moto tape. It's got the works connection and service Honda billet master cylinder covers. Oh, I almost forgot. This is probably the area that you want to protect most on your Honda CR500, because they don't make the cases anymore. You have to buy an aftermarket set, and they're $1,800. Is this has a professionally welded full aluminum skid plate that you never have to worry about damaging your frame rails or your engine cases on the bottom. So again, the Renthal Fat Bar, Pro Grip 801s. The parts total was $4,730, and then there was some aluminum polishing on here. It was 25 hours labor to completely dismantle the bike, right down to the crankcases. When you do an engine with Adam, he's in Canada, we're in the United States here. Oh, by the way, we're running VPT2 in it, if you're wondering. Here's the factory connection spec sheet from what they did on it, and you'll get this whole Dyno Jet Specs and the work order for the CR500. Everything is broken down here, every single part that's on it. Twin air filter, Maxima filter oil. It's a Kian PWK 38mm air striker carb. The jetting specs are on here. It's actually a 178 main and a 55 pilot. Third clip from the top, 2 turns out on the air screw. Twin air dual stage filter. pretty much, I think I covered everything here. If you have any questions about the bike, give us a call, 860-454-7024. The total ride time on the bike is estimated somewhere around 15 hours. The bike is in brand new condition everywhere. There's no evidence of any moto damage on the swing arm. The swing arm looks like it just came out of the box. The rims look brand new. There's no scuff marks on the side of the rims. The forks have no evidence of any rocks flying into them. In fact, this bike's never been motocross raced. You can see it's never been in a moto because usually the front of the radiator gets bent fins. So it's about as good as you're gonna get. So the total cost of all the options, upgrades, and extras on this plus labor came to the full race motor, the suspension, and everything else came to $11,815. So if you buy that bike right there, a brand new stock one, and you want to do a full race motor, plan on $5 grand, and then the suspension and everything else, and the cost and the time and the labor, it adds up. This engine was dismantled and sent to Canada to Adam, the engine cases, where he actually ports the cases to match the cylinder head. And again, I can't get too much into that. Adam requested we don't disclose his proprietary porting package that he's spent years developing, but it flat out works, and it's an excellent combination for motocross. Junior, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, when I was 14, I had a 2013 CRF 250 off the YZ125, and I've been racing for a couple years, mid-pack amateur guy, and that bike cornered like a dream. And I'll probably put up a couple photos of me. I really meshed with that bike, but there was a big problem that I had with it, and that was when I lined up with the 252 strokes, I didn't pull a single holy.
Nope.
So that was a big problem, but don't worry, boys. Uncle AJ fixed the glitch. He took care of it for us.
That's for sure. This is it's the most powerful motocross bike you can buy. The production motocross bike produced by a reputable manufacturer like AJ at Built 500.
Just put it in third gear and pull a fat holy.
It happens to be motocross action, and AJ and I were talking the other day, and there was a couple surveys taken as to what would be the most desirable motocross bike you could possibly get. 8 out of 10 of the people who took the survey said a service Honda 500. And what AJ was surprised about is the demographic. A lot of younger people in their teens, even 14-year-olds, were saying this bike right here is just something about the raw power of a 500. If you go to Sand Mountain, there'll be 100 two-stroke 500s there and a couple of 4-strokes. There's a reason why. They have more torque, better power to weight ratio. They're much easier to rebuild, and it's a forever engine. You don't ever need to buy another motocross engine. One CR500 will do it. They're completely rebuildable.
It's a real shame they're forcing all these young lads like Larry Fortin. He's I think he just turned 17. They're forcing him to ride 4-strokes, or else he's not ever going to get a pro contract. So it's a real shame. I think all these kids are going to burn out because they're not having any fun. They're not riding 2-strokes.
Have you got up and close with the camera, like on the wheel set and on the forks, and show them the high wear areas? Like look at the side of the engine case right here. Usually those are all chewed up. That looks like it has about an hour ride time. I mean, this is obviously a bike that was never hammered into sand. You can see it has a Service Honda logo. If it doesn't say Service Honda here and AF on the front, it's not a Service Honda.
The photos tell a better story than I could show in the video right here. So check the gallery, boys.
Amen.